I used to believe that success was a straight line. Born into a middle-class family in the suburbs, I was raised with one unshakable belief: work hard, stay focused, and good things will come. My father worked 2 jobs. My mother held the family together with grace and grit. I idolized them, and in turn, I promised myself that I'd make their sacrifices worth it. By 28, I had everything I thought I wanted: a 6-figure job at a top law firm, a luxury apartment overlooking the city, a fiancé who wore perfection like perfume, and a calendar filled with important meetings, fancy dinners, and weekend getaways. From the outside, I looked like I was winning at life. But on the inside, I was crumbling. The long hours at work weren't noble, they were numbing. My relationship was built on appearances, not connection. I was constantly exhausted, constantly pretending. My smile, once genuine, has become a mask. Still, I pushed forward. Because that's what you do, right? Until everything collapsed. It started with a layoff. The firm had been downsizing, but I never thought I'd be on the list. I worked harder than most, sacrificed more than many, but loyalty doesn't pay dividends. One Monday morning, I was called into a glass-walled office and handed a severance envelope. No explanation, just a polite nod. I walked out of that building stunned. My identity had been so deeply tied to my job that I felt physically lost. I wandered the streets for hours, not knowing where to go. When I told my fiancée, her reaction was colder than the city wind. So, what now? I didn't have an answer. Within 2 weeks, she moved out. Said she couldn't build a future on uncertainty. I didn't fight her. Maybe I should have, maybe not. In hindsight, we were both in love with a version of success, not with each other. Then came the eviction notice. My savings weren't built for unemployment. The lifestyle I'd curated was a fragile illusion, and once it cracked, everything tumbled. I sold my car, moved into a friend's basement, lived off ramen and regret. But the hardest part wasn't the financial collapse. It was the silence, the isolation. People stopped calling, invitations dried up. I went from rising star to cautionary tale. I stopped looking in the mirror. I didn't recognize the man staring back. Months passed, depression wrapped around me like a second skin. I considered things I'm not proud of, dark thoughts, empty bottles, endless nights, and then something strange happened. One rainy afternoon, I found an old box while cleaning out the basement, my college journals. I hadn't seen them in years. I flipped through the pages, yellowed and ink smeared. There, between lists of dreams and stupid jokes, I found the raw, unfiltered version of myself. A kid who loved to write, who wanted to tell stories, who dreamed of traveling the world and documenting human truth. I had forgotten him. Something stirred inside me. I started writing again, just small pieces, observations, memories. I posted them anonymously online. People started responding. One story turned into 10, 10 turned into 50. Strangers thanked me for putting their feelings into words. It felt real, honest, free. I took up freelance gigs, copywriting, blog editing, travel reviews. It didn't pay much, but it paid enough. More importantly, it didn't feel like a lie. Then one day, a small publication reached out. They had read one of my personal essays and wanted to feature it. A week later, I got my first paycheck as a published writer. It wasn't about the money. It was validation that maybe, just maybe, I hadn't failed. I had rerouted. I moved out of the basement into a studio apartment, small, but mine. I started therapy. Reconnected with my parents. I apologized for pushing them away during the storm. They never stopped believing in me. I traveled, not first class, but backpack style. I met people who lived with less but laughed more. I learned to sit with myself, to be uncomfortable, to be present. Years passed. Today, I don't have the luxury apartment or the corporate prestige, but I have peace. I write full-time. I speak at events about failure and reinvention. I teach storytelling to high school students on weekends. I get emails from readers who say my words help them get through dark times. I look in the mirror now, and I see someone I know, someone I respect. Losing everything stripped me of the lies I believed about myself. It tore away the labels, lawyer, fiancé, success story, and left behind the truth. I am a storyteller, a survivor, a human being trying his best, and for the first time in my life, that's enough. So yes, I lost everything. But in that wreckage, I found myself, and I've never looked back.